Okay, yep. Just want to make sure you got around to it. Ready? Go. Now just get one on. Set it down on the front. Set it right here in front. I was gonna go this way so I can kick it out with my foot. And put a button on his other side.
Okay, so I just finished grinding the one side down, and you saw us lay this down on the side, so it's a little bit easier to fit the other side. Right now what I'm doing in this clip is actually cleaning up the inside. There's a lot of junk in there, and I got one of them spongy type ends on the die grinder, and I'm just kind of trying to get all the junk out there. And I didn't record me fitting the other side. It was basically the same thing. And when I cut these down with the plasma cutter, I could have cut them so they would fit right in, but I didn't want to be a hair too small and have them be a big gap that you got to fill trying to weld them. So I chose to leave them like a 1/16 bigger than what I needed to, and then I just took that down with the grinder. And it seemed to work really well. It gave me a really tight fit where I actually had to hammer them in to get them to fit, but it gave me a really nice gap for the buddy of mine to weld them. He came over and welded them for me. He's a professional welder. He welds every day. Plus he owed me a favor, so he did it for free. So we'll get back to this here.
Okay, so I believe the last thing you guys seen me do on this was welding them little pieces of channel on the inside of this pipe. So what I did with them is there's 3 of them around the pipe, kind of in, that configuration. And I used them as stops to set my sides in. And I didn't weld these. I had a buddy of mine that is a professional welder come and do it. Took him about an hour to weld both sides and the shaft in. I didn't feel like chasing pinholes all week. He welds a lot more often than I do, so we should be pretty good. We'll focus. There's his welds. But I think I found enough fittings here in my secret stash. We got a 15 psi gauge. Got a T, a couple nipples. Could not find any other pipe plugs in my stash other than this brass one, so that's like a $3 pipe plug right there. And we got a ball valve. So we're gonna put that together here and pressure test this tank. I mean, basically it's a tank. Put about 3 or 5 psi in it and see if we get any pinhole leaks in it. But once I pressure test this, I'm gonna clean up this outside here, do some sanding on it, and then I'm gonna build a cradle for it to go in that cart because it's still a little bit too cold to paint outside. So this way I can roll it outside, paint it, roll it back inside where it's warm in here in the garage. And we got some John Deere yellow, black, some self-etching primer, and we got some John Deere green here. So we got some paint already. Let's get some things together to pressure test this. We got our very expensive little brass plug there. And then we have our nipple, pressure gauge, valve, arrows. I don't have a regulator on this compressor, so make sure that valve's shut. Pressurize that line, and we're just gonna pop this a little bit. So I do have one leak there, I can hear it. I have to pull that off and put maybe a little more Teflon tape around there. Okay, we'll be back. Well, you guys missed out on a little bit more. I did pressure test this. Oh man, it's behind here.
So I will admit my mistake. When I welded them plugs in, I only welded the backside. And then I plasma cut them off. So I left the side edge exposed, not welded. And then a buddy of mine welded the end plates in. And what ended up happening is the air, when I pressure tested to 3 psi, was just coming up the edge, through the side, and around the open front. So I ended up having to weld the front side of them plugs, and I didn't videotape it. It didn't go very well. Just wasn't, not my day. Nothing wanted to work right. So I did end up letting the welds on there. I didn't grind the welds off because I was having an issue with I don't know what. Every time I ground it back off, it would leak again, so I just finally said mess with it. I left the welds there, and then on my other side here, you'll see in this clip, I actually had to re-drill a hole for my fitting because in my mess of trying to weld them plugs in and pressure testing it and getting annoyed and frustrated, I ripped the threads out. So I ended up filling that hole and then moving it over. And a lot of people might be looking at that little 1/4 inch hole thinking, that's really going to take a long time to fill. Well, I'm going to try it. I got a little fitting I found that I'm going to use to fill them, and as a valve, we'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, what I'll end up doing is I'll come back and probably right around the area where I was having the issue with all them pinholes, I'll actually take and plasma cut like a 2-inch hole there and put a weld in bung and then put a plug there. But for right now, the welds are staying on there. I ain't gonna mess with it anymore. I need to get this thing done for spring. I don't have the time to play around with it. So, here we go.
Now, this outside seal here, that did not leak. This didn't leak. So while the neighbor was over here, I put him to work to build my cradle. So, as you can see, we got a little V-notch for it to sit in. And that way I can roll it while it's in here. But he must have been using engineering math. So you can see, I'm a little bit too short. So, I do need to pull this 4x4 off and stick a 2x4 underneath there just to get me up a little bit higher. But that's where I'm at. Pulled the snowblower back off of this again, because hopefully Mother Nature's done snowing. And washing it up here to put away for storage. Just waiting for my degreaser to work here a little bit. But that's where I'm at about. So let's see, where was I? Okay. So we got rid of the snowblower, got the pallet forks back out of storage and put the snowblower in storage. So we got the bucket here and pallet forks now. Fix this, added another 2x4, and now we have a nice little rotisserie that I can paint this on. So, tomorrow when it's nice out, I'll take this outside, grind that all off. I hit a little spot here somewhere. Right there. Cleaned up a little. Not bad. Mill scale on there, but won't be too bad to paint. And then we can pick it up, take it outside, grind it off, paint it, pick it up, bring it back inside.